All right, let's just dive right in because we are exploring a story that asks a pretty strange and honestly a very funny question. What happens when a being whose name is basically synonymous with mind-shattering horror has to deal with, well, family?
And that's really the core of what we're breaking down today. It's this ultimate collision of the absolutely cosmic and the painfully commonplace. You take this terrifying, unknowable figure, Cthulhu, and you ground him in the most relatable human struggles you can imagine. Raising kids and trying to keep the house clean.
So this is where the genius of it all lies, right? It's this hilarious gap between what you expect and what you actually get. You think you're getting the great dreamer, this being of unimaginable power, but what you get is a dad whose biggest problem is that his daughter is going to spoil her appetite, and a wife who is, very justifiably, upset that he's messing up her chores.
So let's really set the scene for this absolutely bizarre family dynamic, a world where an apocalypse-level event is treated with the same energy as, say, spilling a glass of milk on the carpet.
I mean, there it is. Cthulhu, the Lord of Rylea, isn't plotting the end of all things. Nope. He's pleading with his daughter Noctisia, using that timeless dad logic. The very source of his immense power, the dreams of his loyal cultists, has just become an after-school snack that he has to regulate. And then you have his wife, Nyx. So she makes her grand entrance by literally splitting the world open to walk into the room. But is she met with awe? With cosmic terror? No. She's met with the completely understandable frustration of someone who just finished vacuuming the living room.
Okay, so let's dig into that dynamic a little more by taking a closer look at the heads of this incredibly chaotic household, Cthulhu and Nyx themselves.
So Cthulhu's telling his kids this epic story of how he met their mom. It's got everything. A bar packed with immortals, watching her totally shut down Zeus himself, and feeling this connection that literally pulled him out of eons of sleep. And how does he cap off this cosmos-spanning romance? With the most classic, tired, sitcom dad trope in the entire universe.
He is the archetype through and through. He's just overwhelmed, he's world-weary, and I mean that literally, and his #1 parenting strategy is just pure delegation. When he's faced with a planet-sized star beast as a potential new family pet, his response is that universal cry of dads everywhere, ask your mother.
And Nyx, well, she's his perfect counterpart. She's the one who's actually running the show. She handles absolutely everything, from her kids' reality-bending science projects to keeping up with all the inter-eon gossip about who's dating who in the divine pantheon. She is the anchor in the sea of absolute chaos.
And of course, you can't have cosmic parents without some cosmic kids, and their two children, Jethidian and Noctixia, bring their own special, unadulterated brand of chaos to the family dinner table. This is just a perfect father-son moment. Cthulhu is completely baffled by these temporal krakens that have suddenly appeared, and his son, Cassidian, explains how he created them with the exact condescending tone of a teenager showing his dad how to use a new app. He's not just a rebel, he's a biological innovator of new horrors.
And, his little hobbies, they have consequences. Like, in an attempt to make a gift for the god Shiva, he accidentally creates an infinite infestation of these unmovable, ever-spinning cosmic toys. It is the divine equivalent of a science fair volcano project going horribly, horribly wrong.
Meanwhile, their daughter Noctixia is just trying to navigate the divine dating scene. She's getting hit on by some pretty big names like Jesus and Hades, but what's the real deal breaker? What's the one unforgivable sin? A questionable fashion choice. Turns out, even for a being of pure chaos, some things are just ew.
So as you can probably imagine, a family like this doesn't exactly have a simple family tree you can draw on a poster board. Their whole lineage is, well, it's complicated. And that leads to one of the most wonderfully weird ideas in the whole story.
It all starts with this question from Glacidian, which is completely valid, by the way. He's just sitting on the couch, and he sees his mom, Nyx, sitting right next to her identical twin sister, Nox. And for a kid who can literally breed krakens with the concept of time, this is somehow the thing that finally short-circuits his brain.
The explanation for all this comes from their uncle Hastur, and he just dismisses the simple mortal idea of a family tree. For beings like them, it's a family hypercube, but for their specific lineage, oh, it's even messier. It's more of a cosmic hairball. It's just a brilliant way of saying, look, it's complicated, okay? Don't ask. So how does this family actually get through the day-to-day?
Well, they don't really solve the chaos. They just find this strange new balance right in the middle of it. This is just their normal.
And this little chart just breaks down their dynamic perfectly. Cthulhu's methods are pure avoidance and just explosive frustration. He either delegates, yells so loud reality shakes, or just escapes to watch a game. Nyx, on the other hand, just calmly steps in to manage the fallout, order a pizza, and keep the universe from completely unraveling.
Their son's latest project is a perfect example of this new normal. He's trying to help out with the chores, so he's creating a new species that's designed to help with the vacuuming. It's a sweet thought, but you just know it's going to end with an infestation of black hole-infused mosquitoes.
And their daughter is just casually discussing the practical upsides of dating a reincarnating deity like Buddha with her friends. For her, it's not some big theological miracle, it's just a convenient, renewable food source. It's just another Tuesday night conversation.
And that brings us to the end. In a rare, quiet moment, curled up with his wife, Cthulhu, the ancient cosmic horror, isn't dreaming of dead worlds or driving mortals mad. He's just wondering about the simple, blissful, uncomplicated life of a sea monkey. It's the ultimate sigh of a dad who is just so done, and it kind of leaves us with a thought. Maybe the most terrifying horror of all isn't the vast, uncaring cosmos, but just trying to get your family through another day.